Shields up, Iron Breakers. Today we're going to be checking out Phantom Blade Zero. Now, I covered this game initially in May of last year, which is when it was initially revealed from a PlayStation showcase, and I thought it looked pretty interesting. So when I went to Gamescom, I figured, hey, let's see if we can schedule something with these dudes and check out their game, and I was able to do just that. As a matter of fact, I have my own gameplay footage, but I did run into a bit of a problem. I was recording with my super underpowered PC. It was not plugged into a power socket because they didn't have one there, and that caused us to get some frame drops in my footage, even though I didn't experience those when I was playing the actual game. So rather than using my footage, we're going to be using B-roll. So I do have B-roll from the developers. It is exactly the same demo that I played, and I can tell you guys that that demo played silky smooth. I was playing it on a PlayStation 5, and it just ran 60 FPS as far as I could tell. I didn't really notice any frame drops. I believe that these guys are using Unreal Engine 5, so they are abusing a little bit on the motion blur and the particle effects. That is one of the criticisms that I would give them from a visual standpoint. But other than that, I feel like the game animated fantastically. The visuals were pretty good. There weren't really any cutscenes that I could tell in my demo. There's a point at which a boss kind of like jumps down and starts attacking you, and there's like a little cutscene to focus on the boss, but he jumps down and then you just keep going. But yeah, right now, this is the B-roll for the actual tutorial mode. So there's two attacks that you can do. You have your light attack and your heavy attack, and the enemies have like this orange gauge that you can see there. What happens is when their orange gauge gets completely reduced to nothing, they can no longer block your attacks. Very much as you would come to expect of this type of game, there is a lock-on. You can see that on the enemy right now. And, you know, you have your usual combos that you're expected to be doing. Now, if I had to describe this game, I would go as like a faster version of Sekiro, but it also lets you use more weapons. You have a selection of weapons that you can swap from by just pressing left on D-pad, and it will just like swap your weapons, and you can even swap weapons mid-combo, which is very satisfying. Then there's also these phantom edges, which he's doing right now, which you guys saw him do the cannon shot thing, and then a little bit of a bow shot. So these are all things that you can do. You can also freely aim the bow. It doesn't have to be locked on. That is an option that you have. Now, an interesting choice of controls that we have in this game is that we have R1 for dodging. That's not the first time that I've seen that. So square is light attack, triangle is heavy attack, and then R1 is dodging, L1 is blocking, and there is perfect dodging and perfect blocking. As a matter of fact, it has that system where, A, if an attack glows blue, you have to perfect block it using L1. If an attack glows red, you have to perfect dodge it using R1. I'm assuming that as you move further and further into the game, these mechanics are going to get a little bit more complex depending on the boss that you're fighting. You're probably going to experience some bosses also with Margit derangement syndrome, because that's all the rage nowadays, which for those who don't know, it's the type of bosses that hold down their attacks like forever. But I will have to say, I felt like the timing on perfect parries and perfect dodges in this particular demo felt pretty lenient. Now, I'm not saying that it was, it's giga easy to just do everything, but even I was able to start parrying stuff reasonably fast, considering that I only really got to play 20 minutes of the game, which is about as long as it takes you on average to get through this demo, and that still accounted for the fact that I got killed like, 10 times by the final boss of the demo, because the boss just throws out this thing and then one-shots you. But yeah, there's a bunch of different moves that you can go and do. There's also sneak attacks, and it felt really fun to play. The thing is, it is very, very fast. And it's got like this wuxia vibe, which if you guys are not familiar, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it even. Wuxia, I don't know. But it's like those old Chinese movies that... Wait, are we back at the tutorial? Yeah, it's because this thing is set to repeat one. It's like those old Chinese movies that focus on martial arts and stuff like that. That's kind of like the vibe that you get from this. And it's just super fast, especially if you go for dual blades, because you do have the option of using dual blades on your gameplay. And those feel really, really, really fast. So on this level, I don't know exactly how they're going to navigate it with the B-roll, because there's like two options at the beginning of the level that you can kind of like cycle through. So you see a couple of minions here. These guys are super easy to kill. As you can see, there's like dodges that move you around the map and whatnot, and it's super easy to just kill some of these minions. You get to see some of the stealth gameplay here, which you can crouch, then snap with the backstab right there. See, this is one of the complaints that I have. I feel like there's too many particle effects and maybe too much motion blur, which is something that I've noticed with a lot of Unreal Engine 5 games, and so the image kind of gets a little bit messy. Like you see right there's like all this motion blur and stuff going on. But you know, if you're into that, that's all good. But yeah, you can slide down walls if that's a thing that you want to do. You can kill enemies from above. You could also sneak up on these guys and go for backstabs if that's something that you want. But look at them just like blocking and trying to go for like perfect blocks. And you see like the crazy cool animations, wuxia style. I really like this. I had a blast playing it too because it just feels really nice to play. The animations are very solid, no real complaints there. And it's just like the clashes of blades just really reminded me of Sekiro, but just even faster paced, if that's even possible. It almost feels sometimes that you can straight up animation cancel. Although I don't really remember if I was animation canceling properly or not. But yeah, it is super fast to just go from offense into defense. And remember, like that right there, that is one of your perfect parries that he kind of like ghost steps back. Then we have like this boss here. But like I was telling you, a really cool thing about this combat is the swapping of weapons midway through the combo. Feels very satisfying. And pulling off the cannon arm, you have like a tiger cannon, like right there. Ghost step, that's perfect parry. You see the blue glow on the boss's attack right there. That's another one. See, ghost step, you get a backstab, and then you can just keep punishing. The reason we're punishing so hard right now is because the boss's health gauge, the orange gauge was fully depleted, and while he's recovering it, that is so cool. The friggin' parry. That was a perfect dodge with the grenade. But as I was saying, you deplete the orange gauge all the way, and then you can just keep punishing. It's not, you don't get an instant, you know, like a visceral attack on a boss just because you broke his gauge, but basically you can't block, so you can just really lay into them. There's also a special attack that you can do with every weapon, which is you press L2, but you need to charge the weapon first. And that attack is just like a sequence of combos that is brutally devastating. So after that level, we get to fight this particular boss over here. I think this boss killed me once, if I'm not mistaken. I got this one on the second try. The next boss was the one that brutalized me quite a few attempts because he has a one-shot move. But in here you can see they equip them with a different weapon. In the demo we also had different weapons on each of these levels. And then in the next boss we're actually going to have the weapon that this guy has. Because I'm assuming we're going to steal it from him. Like, look at the size of that thing. Yeah, this boss was a little bit more challenging, has a couple of more mechanics. His name is Commander Cleave. Like right there, perfect dodge. Right now we're using a bigger sword rather than duels, but do remember we can basically swap to that at any point in time. Like, notice how he's going to break that orange gauge. There's the perfect parry, broke the gauge, and now the boss is going to be completely staggered. We can just punish all the way. And then going to fire the fire cannon there. I didn't even use that one. Didn't even know we had that one. That was another perfect parry. Like, the person playing this is just playing perfect. Like, obviously I missed way more of these. But it's not too hard. Like, it actually looks harder than it is. It's fairly achievable to do this. And right there, when you see the triangle symbol, that means you can execute, which is what he did right there. Boom. Execution. Boss dead. I'm curious to see how they actually did the final boss, which is the next one, using the B-roll footage. Let me go ahead and swap the next one, called the Sunken Pillar of Kunlun. I think they actually just straight up skip his first one-shot attack by going over to a pillar and running there. But yeah, in terms of performance, the game was running super smooth, like no real complaints there, and it felt fun to play. It was actually, I was very lucky, like all of the games that I played at Gamescom this year, they were just great. They just felt really good to play, so I'm excited for all of them. They're all coming out in 2025. Yeah, see that thing? If he lands the special attack of that thing, that basically clings onto your head and then yoinks it off. Like, I can actually show you guys that. Like, watch this. Wait. Let's pause this, because this is like the B-roll, so he's going to do it perfectly. Let me swap over to here. And if we go to my footage, I was probably doing him here. Like I said, it has a little bit, like, see? Chock! That's it! Like, if it hits you with that thing, you just die. Like, look, he did this right at the beginning, too. See, I got these frame rate things, which is why I didn't want it to show my footage. Because, again, it was just my laptop. The game was running super smooth. Junk! Block. I had to watch this animation so many times. I died so many times to this damn thing. But yeah, let's showcase the B-roll, which is a much better player than myself. But hey, I still killed him. Just took me a couple more attempts. So yeah, he still has a sword. He's got like that crazy looking head. Here we go. See, he just dodged the attack right there by interrupting the boss with it. That's a perfect parry. Boom. Instant punish. Dude, I got hit by this guy's attacks so many times. Because this one holds his parry attacks just a little bit longer. Not too much. Not terribly hard. But it takes a bit more practice. And as you can see, orange gauge busted. It's just like free damage. Pretty sure he was using like the special attack on the weapon too. Which is the L2 button for that. Dude, the person recording this B-roll is just straight up flexing. There's clashes as well. Yep. And Bob is your uncle. There's the execution prompt. Dead. And yeah, that is Phantom Blade. I think it's going to be pretty fun. I would probably, you know, I'm definitely going to play this. It seems like the type of game that I'll enjoy. So we're going to be covering that here on the channel. But do let me know what you guys think about this. It was a fairly straightforward demo when I played it. So yeah, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about Phantom Blade Zero. Do you guys want to see more of this on the channel? And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe, bell notification icon, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.